Mark has a great eye for interiors. He'd be like, what about a lamp in that corner? I'd be like, absolutely not. And if we get one, we need to get a second one to match it. And he's like, not everything has to match.
Welcome to Style Stories, brought to you by Easy Living Interiors, helping you transform your space and create the feeling of home.
You love interiors, we love interiors, so let's talk about it. I'm Laura, welcome back to Style Stories with Easy Living Interiors. This week we're joined by Doireann Garrihy for a really special feel-good chat. From the buzz of being back on stage with the Laughs of Your Life live, to the reality of home life, Doireann brings us right into her world, sharing the moments you don't always see, both in and out of the spotlight. We get into her love of creating spaces that feel warm, lifting and inviting, whether that's a theatre stage styled like a living room or her own home in Dublin that's been beautifully renovated. She chats about interiors in a way that feels refreshingly real, what she loves and how her space has naturally evolved as she settles into motherhood. There's plenty in here too about her career across radio and TV, the journey that got her there and how she's navigating this busy, exciting chapter of her life. So let's get into it.
Hello, good afternoon. And welcome to Sandy Bird.
Thank you, it's great to be here.
And you're sitting in the sofa that is on the Laughs of Your Life live stage.
This is like, I like to method act outside of the Laughs of Your Life. I like to make sure that all my furniture is also from the Laughs of Your Life. Yes. We just need to be in the flow for the month of May.
Love it. So you had the show last night in Cork.
Oh my God.
And how was it? How's it back to be on stage again?
Like, sensational. There's nothing like live and there's nothing like a gorgeous space like the Cork Opera House. I was so delighted that that was the first night because we had done the Cork Opera House last year, 2 nights. So I knew what to expect in terms of the vibe of the room because even the shape of a theatre makes such a difference to the energy and how close the audience feel or far away they feel. And it's the perfect balance there where you can see faces, but you also know it goes way up into the gods. So it was such a buzz. And I was nervous for sure because I did some of my own performance or comedy. I'm so scared to even call it stand-up because I'm like, how dare you? There are amazing stand-ups in Ireland. You're not one of them. But, you know, comedy is where it all started for me. So it was actually Mark that kind of encouraged me to go for it with, you know, impressions and, yeah, just bits of comedy. And I'm glad I did.
And as you should, though, because your impressions, like, they have me in bits sometimes. I'm like...
Not all the time.
Yeah.
Only sometimes.
All the time. I'm always laughing. I don't stop laughing. I'm laughing right now. I'm joking. So amazing that you're kind of bringing that and making it part of your show and how lucky you're at Cork to be the first ones to experience it. So what are some of maybe the behind the scenes of tour that people wouldn't see or know that goes into a tour? And obviously you're a new mum. So what does that look like now being on tour?
The logistics have been everything. Like trying to iron all that out. I've probably done that in dribs and drabs since January. It's so funny, like when I was pregnant, before I had Rosie, I was like, month of January, nothing happens in January. I will write the whole show, I will organise the whole show, and I will have everything sorted by the 31st of January. Not a chance was that happening. But then I became a mom. I was like, lol, like how did I think that was a thing? So it's kind of been, I suppose, from January into February, March and April and down to the wire. Just so much thought has gone into every single part of being on the road and making sure, like with Rosie, you know, I have to make sure that she's the priority, of course. But then with the show, actually sitting down and writing the bits, booking the guests, making sure the set looks absolutely fabulous and the lighting. And I'm very lucky. I have great support with the people I work with behind the scenes. And obviously my family, my mum and dad have, you know, been really great. And Mark, of course, to come with me to each venue. So it's on to Kerry next. And then it'll be Mayo and then Dublin and Limerick. So the month of May is chaotic, but in the best possible way. Like, you know, when you have something work-wise and you're like, everything is leading towards that. Yeah. And when you're finally in it, even though it's stressful, you really want to embrace it and enjoy it. So I'm trying to just breathe and enjoy it all.
And I find the lead up kind of boring. It's like you're kind of just waiting for something. Yes. And you're like, can I just be in it now? And can we just get into go mode?
It's a bit like the Leaving Cert where you're like, get me into the exam hall. Whatever I know, I know.
Exactly.
It's the advanced bit that you're like, ugh. Like this, you know, if I actually do a bit extra today, it could make the difference between a C and a B or whatever.
So funny you've said that because I compare my life to the Leaving Cert all of the time. And people are like, that's kind of weird. Move on from the Leaving Cert now.
I can't move on from the Leaving Cert. My friends slag me all the time. I talk about it any chance. I don't know what it is. It just was such a thing in my life for so long. I think I'm actually quite proud of how I did as well. So I'm like, guess what I did?
Same. I'm like, I peaked in my leaving cert.
And like the information that I had in my brain for my leaving cert, I will never have that amount of information again. Like the way I was able to write a letter in German.
I know.
What?
I know. Who were we? Who were we?
We peaked.
So moving on to the tour stage.
Yes.
So we were so delighted to work with you on that again this year. And so we've really kind of created almost a living room on stage.
Yeah.
How important to you is it to create that kind of intimate sense of like closeness with your guests and also make it feel like a lounge on stage?
It is so important. And people mightn't think it is. Like someone might go, but sure, if they've 2 armchairs in the venue and an L carpet, won't that feel like no? And because I suppose with the nature of the Laughs of Your Life, I really do want to get into the nitty gritty of things. Like, of course, it's about laughter, but there are also, I suppose, heavier questions like, you know, your no laughing matter moment in life, a time where there was no room for laughter. And it's really important that the environment lends itself to that. And it's integral that the person you're interviewing feels really comfortable to open up like a living room. And obviously there's a full-on theatre of people there, but you know what, we just forget about that. But I do think, I mean, even with the podcast itself, as in not the live podcast, but with the actual podcast, you do have to create a homely feeling. And I'll often get feedback from people I've had on who'll go, I didn't mean to tell you half that. And that's a good thing because you're like, well, I must have made you feel comfortable enough. So if the person is physically comfortable, they're going to be emotionally comfortable, mentally comfortable. So I'm just so grateful to have had you guys. It's brilliant.
Thank you. And do you have a favourite piece? Is it the Scott sofa that we're sitting on?
I mean, you can't go wrong with a good sofa. And also on a stage, especially when a stage is big, the sofa it kind of softens everything. Mm-hmm. It's the central piece. So I would say the sofa for sure.
Love. And so you've been working in broadcasting for years. So you do radio, you do TV. Did you always know that was your career trajectory?
No.
Okay.
I had absolutely no idea. So I always wanted to perform. I was like an annoying stage kid. I would now not to the point where I'd be like, watch my show, but I definitely knew I was good. I think like when I did perform, I'd be like, oh, I actually think I was quite good at that. So in school, I would do like impressions of teachers and all that kind of stuff. So I knew I wanted to act. Mm-hmm. And my mom, I suppose, spotted that in me and she put us all into speech and drama and then she put me into stage school. And I adored it and I wanted to act for a career. So I did the Leaving Cert. And
well done.
Thank you. And I got into Trinity. My friends are always like, you just tell anyone who listened that you got into Trinity.
Very normal people.
Very normal people.
Okay.
Yeah. It became really cool during COVID with normal people. Yeah. So I did drama and theatre studies and that was quite academic. There was a bit of performance, but there wasn't a whole lot. So I didn't adore my course. I loved Trinity because I was in the Drama Society and Players and I used to do plays the whole time. So I wanted to act. So I left college and I was really lucky to get an agent, a good agent in Ireland. But I auditioned for maybe 6 or 12 months and I couldn't hack it. I just hated the rejection. I would be quite sensitive as it is. I'm well able to give it. I'm not necessarily able to take it when it comes to slagging. So when it comes to actual rejection for your career, I just was too sensitive. So I kind of was like, oh God, do I stick this out and hate it and eventually hope that the right job will come? Or should I try something else? And it was actually my sister Avian who said, I think you'd be good at radio. Like, you're a good crack. You love to talk. Why don't you give it a go? So I did a 12-week course in radio, the Today FM School of Radio, and I absolutely loved it. And I was just bitten by the bug from there. So I did that, and then I got a part-time job in AA Roadwatch doing the traffic. And people used to slag me about that and be like, that's so random, like, reading. And I'd be like, some of the best media names started in Roadwatch, like Louise Duffy, Ruth Scott, Lorraine Keane, people who all went on to do great radio and TV. So I started there, and then from there I went into Spin in Dublin, and I did that for a few years. And then it all kind of took off with my impressions. I started doing those on Snapchat. And in a way, that was still performance. And I remember with the RTE Player, I did the Doireann project, which was like a sketch show. And it was so strange because I wrote it and the characters and the impressions and all that. And it wasn't until like kind of day one of filming that I was like, I wanted to act. It didn't work out. I've gone a completely different route, but I've still ended up in front of a camera with my own show. And it was just such a mad full circle moment where I was like, okay, I'm not acting and I don't have an Oscar. I'm not on the trajectory to winning awards, But I am here in a different capacity.
Well, you won a podcast award recently.
Yes, I did, Laura.
Again,
Thank
congratulations.
you. My dad was actually raging at me that I didn't mention that in the Late Late. He was like, why didn't you say about your All-Ireland podcast award? I was like, sorry. I wasn't going to just list off my accolades. And I got a B1 in French.
I know, it's very Irish though, isn't it? She'd be like, no, I couldn't be having the notions now. Yeah. But it's funny you say that because I actually always wanted to work in broadcasting. So I went to university and I studied English literature.
Right.
I'm from Cork, so I went to UCC.
Yes.
And people are like, why did you do English lit? Really random.
Yeah.
But my degree, we did a podcast in college, so it was bits and bobs of that. And it's like, I'm definitely not on your level at all. But then I'm like, wow, I'm doing a podcast now for the brand that I work for.
There you go. Really, and you find your way somehow.
Exactly. So anyone who's doing their leaving cert at the moment, which is happening right now, good luck. So, and then moving on to TV. So Dancing with the Stars, obviously you do that with Jennifer Zamparelli.
Yes.
Is it as intimidating as people would think? Is live TV, like how does that feel? Or do you just black out and forget the cameras are there?
You kind of black out. No, the rehearsals are essential. So like you are rehearsed within an inch of your life. So if something goes wrong, in saying that, you still have to be able for the moment if something goes wrong, and things can go wrong. I mean, the likes of Dancing with the Stars, it's such a monster show. It is so prepped and so ready. And I remember my very first show, that was the most nervous I've ever been for anything in my life because I knew how big it was. It's an RTE1 audience, which is like in Ireland, the biggest kind of audience on a Sunday evening in January. Everyone's watching. They're in, it's freezing, it's dark. And I just had this, I remember sitting getting my makeup done and I was unable to speak. I just was like, I can't believe I have to walk. And it's the stairs.
Yeah.
The stairs add such fear because you walk down the stairs in time to the music. You have to be at the bottom at a certain time and then you launch into saying what you're saying and it's as live as it gets. I was really scared, but you're so minded by the behind the scenes. And Jen was just a consummate professional and just such a woman's woman. She had her arm around me, like metaphorically from the get-go. So I felt really minded. And even though I feel so much more comfortable in the role now, because I've done 3 seasons, that first bit when you get to the bottom of the stairs, you introduce the judges, they have to walk down the stairs, you move over and you kind of do the first couple of, this is how the night is going to work and the show is going to work. Until you get through that, no one really settles in because that's all really live. So usually when Jen and I finish that bit in our ear, the producers will be like, good job, we're in. You know, it's like the show
and also a moment for wardrobe. Like you guys always look incredible. And it's Clementine McNeese does the styling, right?
She is deadly.
Yeah.
It can be really hard with a job like that because, sometimes you're just like, you just don't feel fab. Where she'll always be like, you know, own it, you're gorgeous. And she's really encouraging and she really listens to what suits you. Because I think it can, as women, we know what suits our own bodies. And from the get-go, I was like, I know that this works for me and this doesn't. And I don't mind getting the legs out. I've not really gone on bodycon. I don't have boobs, whatever. And she'll just be like, I've got you. And
Love that.
Being comfortable is like half the battle with that job.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm tuning in just to see what you guys are wearing.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. I'm like, you have to watch the dancing, guys.
Moving on to home.
Yes.
You bought a fixer-upper in Dublin. And you did a lot of work on it. Like it was a real renovation.
Yes.
So talk about that. Were you always into interiors? Did you intentionally buy a fixer-upper? Did you just find yourself in that situation?
My dad was a big driver of it. So I was very lucky that my dad was in construction for the majority of his life. So he knows the industry and the ins and outs of it really well. So he really helped me. And I think like there are times where I look back and I'm like, God, should I just have maybe gone for a turnkey and just be in it and it was done? But now I'm really glad I didn't because it all worked out. When you're in the midst of a renovation, you're like, what have I done? But it's really paid off. That was 2 months before I met Mark. And so it's funny because the plans for it was all kind of geared around me being on my own for my 30s. I just really thought like, okay, I'm happy to just embrace this and have my own little space. In a way, it's still kind of a bachelorette feel. Like there's a window seat that was meant to be just for Bertie, my dog.
Yeah.
And he's not even on that seat. Like he's not allowed there now, which is terrible for him. But, you know, it's now, I mean, it's so funny. Again, when we had a baby, sorry, I'm just introducing Rosie now. You haven't even asked about her yet, but I was inevitably just going to bring her up. But when you have, I remember people saying to me when I was pregnant, like, wait till you have a baby, the house will be upside down. And I remember being like, oh, you're just disorganized. There's no way a tiny baby can turn your house upside. The house is upside down. But anyway, sorry, to go back to your question. I'm not good at interiors. Naturally, I'm not great. I know what I like when I see it, but I can't really magic it up in my head. So say coming into a showroom like this, like, the pink cushions out there with the little cherries.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Adorable. So I'm not really sure what I like until I see it. So I was working with 2 architects, Ailish and Roisin, and they were brilliant. They had great eye for things and they kind of kept it really simple in terms of the design inside. And then they were like, and then you can judge it up with gorgeous pillows and stuff that's interchangeable, say with the seasons or whatever. So it's quite minimal in many ways, but the accessories are good fun. And Mark has a great eye for interiors as well. He'd be like, what about a lamp in that corner? I'm like, absolutely not. And if we get one, we need to get a second one to match it for the other corner. He's like, not everything has to match. Because my mom would be quite matchy-matchy, and I actually love her style. It's very different to what I have. But he would be like, no, let's just get a random lamp for that corner and do a cushion in this thing or whatever. I think as well, when we first moved in, people are like, you need to be in it. And then you can add stuff. And I hated that because I'm like, no, I just want it to be done now.
Yeah.
But again, with hindsight, I'm like, no, you have to be in the space and you have to go, okay, I actually do sit in that corner a lot. So I'm going to give that corner some love. Or I probably sit at the kitchen counter on the laptop more than I do on the couch with the laptop. So maybe we'll judge that. You know what I mean? So it's when you're living in the space, you kind of realise what needs a bit of love.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And let's say when you moved in, was it all done and kind of ready to go? Or did you kind of start maybe with particular rooms and do a room at a time? Or what was your approach in that way?
Every room was a bit done.
Right.
And then I just kind of chipped away as we went.
Yeah.
Our bedroom is still quite minimal. I think because no one sees your bedroom, I'm not spending much on that for now. Whereas the sitting room, I really love having colour and stuff on the walls, and even the bookshelf has really nice lighting, kind of strip lighting. And now with the baby, actually the kitchen we're in a lot because I have a little high chair she can sit in. It's like a newborn type of high chair that I pop her in that and make the coffee and chat to her or whatever. And she's going to be on solids soon. So again, we're really trying to make the effort. We would have an awful lot. I know you're not meant to, but we would have dinner at the coffee table in the living room loads. We would just put on the TV, have our dinner on the coffee. But we're really trying to make the effort to create a kind of family, okay, we actually eat dinner in the kitchen, have her in the high chair and make it like a ritual.
And I was going to ask, so how have you noticed that your approach to home has changed now since having Rosie?
Yeah, she's taken over for sure.
Yeah.
But in the nicest possible way, her little bits and pieces around and her toys or whatever. We're going to have to get to that stage now with crawling. It's so funny, actually, before I had Rosie, my sisters would bring their kids to the house. They'd be like, this is the least childproof house ever. I'd be having candles on low tables because I'd be like, but you guys are visitors, I need to light a candle. They're like, not on a coffee table, put it up on a shelf. So obviously you naturally get into that mode of things need to be that bit safer and softer. And yeah, I think I think the older she gets and the more milestones she hits, I'm sure we'll have to rejig certain things. But we've loads of colour, which I love.
Exciting when you start to do kind of her bedroom and you move on to those chapters.
Sorry, yes, her nursery I was obsessed with. It's so funny how the things you are hell-bent on doing. I was like, the nursery has to be done before I have her. She's probably been in the nursery three times.
I know. And it's more for you than for the baby.
Totally.
But listen, and tell me, what is kind of your nursery vibe?
It's so funny as well. You just decide what they like. It's they haven't even been bored. I'm like, she's a rabbit girl. There's one feature wall with these gorgeous rabbits and it's kind of cream and green and a kind of a peachy colour. Their ears are kind of peach. So I got kind of a peachy paint for the other walls. And there's obviously her cot, her changing unit, and there's a single bed. That was one thing for my sister. They were like, put a single bed into the nursery, even if for feeding at the start. They were like, if Mark is being woke every 2 hours and he's losing his mind, he can go in there or you can go in there or whatever. So it's really soft and it's girly, but it's not really pinky girly. So it's kind of woodland themed. We have little wicker shelves as well with kind of a green edge on them. And yeah, her little teddies are up there. It's really nice that she's at a stage there where she's starting to notice teddies and she's starting to notice our dog Bertie, and yeah, it's exciting.
And she's 6 months now.
Yes.
Oh, half your birthday. Do you find you do that too? Do you celebrate all of the let's say 1 month, it's a birthday, 3 months, it's a birthday?
Oh yeah, everything is a milestone. And I'll be 20 weeks. My family are you can't be doing the months and the weeks.
Yeah, but I love as well when I see women who are pregnant and they're like, the baby is a peach today.
Yes.
The baby is a pear
I was
today.
obsessed with that.
Yeah.
And I'd be and then I get so confused. I'd be the baby is a banana. I'm like,
how does that work?
That shape, I can't quantify what that could mean. And then at one point it was it's a pineapple. I'm like, here. Is the green bit the hair? What are you talking about?
If you had to define the feeling of home, what would you say the feeling of home is to you?
Oh my God.
Sorry, deep question now.
It's very deep.
Yeah.
The feeling of home It is cringe to answer that, but it's family. It's where your family are. And since having Rosie, like, we really cherish the weekends, especially weekend mornings, Saturday and Sunday morning. We really try and make sure that we have a family walk. So we'll get up with Rosie and with Bertie. One of us will have the buggy, one of us will have the dog. And we go for at least an hour. And we come back. And just being in the kitchen, like, the kitchen is a gorgeous space. We're very lucky that the garden is completely south facing. So the light that comes in, and now that we're in that time of year where the days are long, it's just heaven. And just propping her up in the high chair and pottering, making coffees and putting on the radio. Like, it's just, that to me now is home. And when Bertie has been walked and he's just kind of flaked in the corner and he's not, you know, that dog guilt as well, where you're like, oh, I haven't been walked. He's been properly walked. Rosie's happy out and we're just chilling. That's home.
It's funny, I spend all my time in the kitchen as well.
Do you?
Whenever I have friends around, I'm like, will we go to the kitchen?
Yeah.
Can we go to the kitchen?
It's easier.
Yeah, we'll sit in the kitchen, will we? So how has motherhood been? And you've been very vocal in a really, like, inspiring way of, you know, like, there's a lot of pressures on women and there's a lot of expectation. So yeah, how have you found motherhood and what is it that kind of, like, makes you want to speak out and be kind of honest?
I think we can all compare and despair, like, with everything in life. I think social media can be really bad for that, but particularly with motherhood. I think, and I've done it, I scroll and I go, that person had a baby after me and she's already doing a high rocks. Oh my, what am I doing? You know what I mean? And that's, sorry, it's not like that's good for her, but it's more, I think we're all responsible for what we consume. And I just have tried to be, and I probably have dropped the ball a couple of times. Of course you do, because you show the highlights. So maybe I have posted stuff that people have gone, here, that looks a bit perfect for my liking. But we all do a bit of that. But I try to have balance as well and show the very normal days. And and try to be open. Like, the biggest reaction I've ever got was saying that I was finding breastfeeding really hard and that I was pumping as well and I was exhausted. And I kind of said, does anyone have, tips, or do you want to share your journey? And it was the most amount of DMs I've ever got in my life, and people being like, it's so nice to hear someone be honest, because you do see people, and the breastfeeding journey is just the easiest thing ever, and it's really not. Like, nothing could have prepared me for how hard and intense that is. So it's all well and good to show the likes of the Dancing with the Stars stuff, and it's all very polished and glam, but I do try to show that, like, I have a very normal day-to-day life as well as a mom, and that it's hard and it's a real roller coaster. And even the back to work stuff, I kind of shared a bit about that as well, and people were saying, there's no way to sugarcoat it. It's really hard. It is hard. And, like, there'll be days where all you want to do is be with your baby, or you might have to leave for work and your baby's sick, or, and I'm sure all of that is ahead of me. But just knowing that you're not alone and that many women do it and manage it. And that it's really nice as well. Like, even the bits of work I've done since Rosie, it's really nice to exercise your brain, the part of your brain that knows, that feels confident. Like, whether it's podcasting or radio or TV, I'm like, I actually know how to do this and I feel competent. You don't always feel that way in motherhood. So there'll be days where you're at home and you're like, I don't know what she wants. I've no idea how to fix, the way she's crying or whatever. Whereas with work, you kind of get this confidence boost. And I think it's a full circle thing, and it's a full picture thing. Like, if I'm happy and if work is fulfilling me, I go home to her buzzing. And then she sees that, and I know she's still teeny tiny, but it's still good to instill it early. Yeah. That, like, work gives me a sense of, I suppose, accomplishment that, then feeds into her life and makes the whole home a happier place, And
ultimately, I think it's very important. It takes a village, right? Like, raising kids takes a village. There's 3 of you all together with your sisters. And so you've a lot of kids in your family.
Yeah, oh my God. Rosie's already a big cousin to 2. I'm like, how is she a big cousin? So and it's amazing. And my sisters are we have our sister WhatsApp. We're constantly on to each other. And any questions I have, they're, like, so giving of their advice. And I'm blessed to have them. And
we're all just doing life the first time. That's my favourite thing I see on social media, when people say we're all just doing life the first time.
No one has it
figuring it out. So you have a really strong personal style in fashion. Do you approach home in the same way that you approach fashion style? Do you see kind of similarities?
Yes. No, I do. I really do. Because I think, like, with fashion, if I'm going to spend a bit more money, I love for it to be on, like, key pieces. So whether that's, like, a coat that I know is going to see me through 4 winters, or boots that I'm going to get loads of wear out of. I did the same for home. Like, the couch, obviously, so important. They say anything that your feet are raised, always invest in.
Yes.
So your bed, your chairs, your couches, obviously, always spend a bit more on that. And I would do that. And then, as I mentioned earlier, like then you can accessorize, you know, and make it fun with the smaller things, whether that's a throw or a lamp or a cushion or a plant or whatever it might be. Yeah, I think I approach both the same.
My favourite thing that someone has said to me before was take out the memory boxes. You know, we'll all have like boxes of crap that you'd keep in the attic ordinarily. Take those things out and then maybe display some of those things.
Oh my God, that's so
now
cute.
I'm really going to show myself here, but I have like on one of my shelves, it's like almost a shrine to Taylor Swift, and it has my Eras tour bracelet and it has my ticket in a frame. I framed the ticket, but it actually is, it's one of those things where when you're in your space and you see all those things around you that a memory is attached to.
Totally.
Or the fridge. People put all of their personal things on the fridge.
Yeah.
You know, and you'll probably do that now with Rosie's artwork
100%.
and all of that.
And actually, another thing, obviously, as I mentioned, like with the nursery, I was like, this has to be done before she's born. So you get into this weird nesting thing and jobs have to be done. Another job that I was like, has to be done, printing our wedding photos, but not just our wedding photos, the Laughs to Your Life live photos. So like the gorgeous pictures from the Opera House and from the Bord Gáis Energy Theatre and Mark's live shows, we printed all of those and they're all framed now. And it's like that. It's just gorgeous memories, and to be like, and it's also nice, I suppose, after you have a baby, because it's like, oh my God, we did some really cool things before we had Rosie.
And look, you're doing it while you have Rosie as well.
There you go.
So when you're making decisions at home then, are you very instinctive or do you are you a Pinterest girl? Or a bit of both?
I wouldn't usually be a Pinterest girl for day-to-day life, but definitely for home. I have been. And I love, and for the nursery I really was as well. Mark would probably be a bit more instinctive. He'd be like, that's a deadly print, let's get that. And he'd just go for it. He has definitely brought me on leaps and bounds in terms of like, stop overthinking it and being like, oh, sure, we'll wait and see. Just do it and just see how it looks. And if it doesn't work, we can bring it back or whatever. But yeah, I would probably be a bit less decisive than him, whereas he'd be like, go for it. We need this splash of colour.
I'll put you onto something. So ChatGPT. Amazing for design.
For interior?
Yeah, so I'll just take a picture of a room or a shelf, or like if something just doesn't look right, I'll take a picture of it, I'll put it into ChatGPT and be like, what's missing here or what should I do? I've done so much stuff that ChatGPT has told me to do.
Oh, sorry, I wouldn't have survived the newborn trenches without ChatGPT.
Isn't it amazing?
And I'd be so specific.
My partner asked me one day, he was like, are you developing a parasocial relationship with ChatGPT?
Yes,
and I was like, I am. Sometimes I ask it like really like mundane things.
It's my therapist and my boyfriend.
Yes, exactly. It does it all for me. I love ChatGPT, so design your houses with it. So for someone listening who wants to improve their own space, like speaking from your experience as someone who's done a fixer-upper,
yes,
where do you think someone should start if they're looking to make a change in their home?
I mean, budget is obviously everything. So a lot depends on that. And yeah, there was a lot of, like, we were down to the wire with certain things. So my main advice would be live in the space. Like, really make sure that you're in it for a good 6 months. And again, I hated when people said that to me, but it is true. Live in the space and actually figure out where do you do most things. Because you might think that you sit at a desk on your computer, but really you bring the laptop to the couch. Therefore, do you invest in a good couch that you can sit up in, that your back isn't broken in after a while? You know, I think take your time with it, figure out what's most important to you and spend your money there.
And also have a good builder.
A very good builder. We had a great builder.
Exactly. And so what's next? Can you share anything on what's next?
Do you know, that's such a funny question when you're in an industry like this and like family gatherings. And if there isn't a whole lot going on next, you're like, loads. Like when I was after college, when I was doing those auditions, they'd be like, so you're auditioning, that's really cool. What are you in? Nothing. I'm in nothing. Don't ask me. Sorry. To answer your question, radio and obviously the rest of the tour. I'm like, it's one of those things where it's such a busy month because the tour is for the whole month of May. And I'm sure I'll be like, how am I going to get through this? But once it's over, I'll be really sad. It's like, you know, when you're in the middle of something, you're like, oh my God, can I just get to the finish line? And I know I'm going to be really sad once it's over because it's just such good crack. But radio, and then, I mean, the Dancing with the Stars prep like kicks off in autumn. And who knows what else might pop up. I always have, you know, some sort of a surprise up my sleeve. Like I presented the St. Patrick's Day Parade and I only really knew I was doing it about 3 weeks before. So I'm sure things will come up as the year goes on and hopefully they do.
Yeah.
Because I'm so lucky to do what I do.
Well, stay tuned, guys.
Listen.
Stay tuned. ...
Teaser there.
So we'll wrap up with a quick fire round. So what are you watching on TV at the moment or film?
On TV, The Pit.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
Is it The Pit or just Pit? It's about a hospital in Pittsburgh and how overrun it is.
Ooh.
And the drama around that.
What's your favourite song right now?
I mean, anything Olivia Dean. I do love her.
What is your favourite place in Ireland for a weekend away?
I'd have to say County Clare.
Gorge. Clare's stunning.
Yeah, my dad is from Dublin. My mom is from Bell Harbour.
And so what is your favourite way to spend a cosy evening at home?
So my favourite time is settling in when we're both there and the blinds are down. You feel like you're just cocooned. Rosie's asleep. Bertie's chilled. And we've something decent to watch. I just love that.
So thank you so much for joining us on Style Stories with Easy Living Interiors.
Nora, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And that's it for today's episode of Style Stories with Easy Living Interiors. A big thank you to Doireann for joining us and sharing a glimpse into her world. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, rate and share it with someone who loves interiors just as much as we do. See you next time.
Thank you for joining us on Style Stories with Easy Living Interiors. You can hear all the news, including links to more information, in the description area of this podcast. Please share our show with a friend who might enjoy it. Simply search Style Stories with Easy Living Interiors on Apple, Spotify or YouTube. This podcast is produced by justpod.io for Easy Living Interiors.